Hey everyone, today I'm going to be breaking down my oddwin sample challenge 6 submission. Let's get started. So the sample I used was Space Starship, and the first thing I did to it was I added a phaser. I just did this to get an idea of what I wanted to do. I turned the mix to 50% because I didn't want the entire effect to play. Okay, so this is the original sample. And then with the phaser, it sounds like this. It's subtle, but it sounds pretty cool, and it gives it more movement. The next thing I added was the drum beat. I did a lot of swing on the hi-hats. Simple clap. We got a thumpy kick. We got a simple hi-hat. A ride cymbal. And then a rim shot or a perk sound, and then an open hat right at the end of it. So the next thing I added were these synth sounds. Let's start out with this first synth. I don't remember where it's from. As I'm editing this video and looked back at the footage, I saw it was made by Rocket Powered Sound, so shoutouts to him. That was the main sound in this track. I added an EQ to get rid of the low end and cut some of the mids out. Added some dimension to it, OTT. Another EQ to get rid of more of the mids and the low end. I duplicated it, did the same stuff, added an EQ, more dimension, but this time I added an amp to give it more of like a guitar sound, and I just thought that sounded dope. I took the vocal chop stem, or not vocal chop. What I was trying to say is that I took the vocal stem from the sample and chopped it up to match the rhythm of the synth. I chopped all the parts that I liked and then played a melody with the notes that I got. I added an EQ, got rid of the lows and some of the mids. I added a snap heap preset that makes the vocal 2 octaves instead of just the regular octave that it's playing at, and added a limiter. I have no idea why. It was probably clipping, but I'm not sure. All of this stuff is probably clipping anyway. Yeah. Now, the next thing I added was a sub, just so that I can actually have some bass in the drop, because there's no bass right now other than the kick. And I'm pretty sure this is also a preset. This is by Freezy TSU. Shout out to him. All I did was add in an EQ that got rid of basically all of the mids. That's basically all of the stuff, or like the main fundamental parts of the beat. The main thing I do in every like challenge or sample challenge is play the original sample and just like have it reverbed out, and I cut out all the low end from it because I decided to change the bass. So this is just how the Reese sounds like. This preset was made by Cymatics. Shoutouts to them too. I forgot that I had an arpeggio. What I was trying to say is that I used the arpeggio stem from the sample in the drop. So this is how the original ARP sounded like. I didn't really do much to it, or I kept the phaser on and add some OTT and cut out all the low end, but that's pretty much all I did to it. It adds like a really cool, or just adds a little bit of variation in it, but I wish I did more. And I also added this vocal chop later on, or the other part of the... What I was trying to say is that I took the other vocal stem in the sample and made it a transition into the second part of the drop. Yeah, I just used the first part of the vocal and automated the tremolo effect on it. Same effects, OTT, EQ, limiter. I also use the octave vocal preset. That's pretty much the intro and the drop. I also forgot to mention that I added some effects to it. Or not like effects, but like sound effects. We have this sound that comes from Logic's library of sounds. Added some reverb and a fade out. I used a white noise riser from one of the drum kits I use. And then I also used a fill from Logic's loops. I don't even know if that's a good fill. Okay, now we can move on to the like breakdown section. I used the same bass line that I used in the drop, but I did the bass line with a 808 instead. Once I had the bass line going, I kept the drums mostly the same, except I added another hi-hat. I wanted to add more instruments from the sample, and then I came across this one. I kept the phaser on again, added some dimension. I added a flux mini. It just gave it more bounce to have this on. And then I added another part of the sample that did have the bass notes, but it still worked with the bass that I was using. And then I also added the synth that I talked about in the drop in the breakdown section too. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention about these other things. To transition into the breakdown section, I added this small ARP sound. I think I made this. Yeah, it's just a simple basic squares with a really short decay. And then I'm made the attack pretty short, but not too short that it sounds plucky. In the actual plugin, or in Serum itself, I added a delay. Ping pong delay. I used the white noise riser again, and I'll call it the white noise sweeper, even though it says Diamond Heart sweeper, but it really is just a white noise. Now we get into the build up. Yeah, I'm just using the sample that I used in the intro. I don't know why I didn't just take this sample and bring it here, but I don't know. It's a really simple build up. It's literally just the same sounds, and then I added a snare. Yeah, let me get into the lead. I took a preset from Serum again, I think. I added an M freeform phase. It's basically your poor man's disperser, but I created a melody for it. Then I layered it with another Serum lead. I added this because it needed some sort of like transient. That gave it more of a punchy sound. I don't even know if it does. And I'm also adding freeform phase to this, some dimension, OTT again, EQ, cut out most of the lows. Now into the second drop. I'm gonna be completely honest, the second drop is almost exactly the same, except there's a lead on it. The only real difference there is the tape stop effect. It's not just a tape stop effect, it's also this other thing that I'm about to show you. So it almost makes it sound like it's coming from like a cheap speaker. And the way I got it to sound like that is with this plugin. It's called Soundly Place It. But basically I just used their preset PA system spaceship. I forgot that I actually did that. It actually works really well. And it's also like a callback to the name of the sample. I have it bypassed up until the section where I want it to play. The last thing I added was this cashmere cymbal just to give it some more energy. Yeah. If you guys want to hear the full version, it's gonna be on SoundCloud. If you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and let me know what you want to see next. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace!